What if history got it wrong? What if there were ancient humans, intelligent, skilled, even bizarre-looking, who supposedly never existed, yet traces of them still whisper through caves, skulls, and stone? Today, we're diving into the top 10 ancient humans that mainstream history says are myths, hoaxes, or misinterpretations, but the evidence suggests otherwise. Get ready, because by the end of this video, you may start questioning everything you thought you knew about the human timeline. In the windswept deserts of Nevada, a cave held a secret, one that challenged Native American legend and mainstream archaeology alike. Lovelock Cave. Inside were mummified remains with shockingly red hair, and some skulls appeared to be abnormally large. For generations, the Paiute people had passed down stories of red-haired, cannibalistic giants called the Site Shah, who once terrorized their tribes. At first, scientists dismissed the tales as folklore, but in 1911, guano miners stumbled upon bones, oversized sandals, and artifacts buried in the cave. Some skulls were said to have been over 13 inches long, unusually large, even by today's standards. Mainstream archaeologists claimed the remains belonged to tall Native Americans, and that the red hair was the result of pigment degradation. But no one could fully explain the massive size of the bones, or the cultural memory of giant enemies passed down for centuries. Were these red-haired giants real, or are we ignoring evidence that doesn't fit the narrative? In 1938, a team of Chinese archaeologists explored a remote cave system in the Bayankara Ula Mountains on the Chinese-Tibetan border. What they found was baffling. Hundreds of small, round stone discs, now known as the Dropa stones, were scattered across the cave floor. Each disc had a hole in the center, and microscopic grooves spiraling out from it like an ancient record. According to some accounts, strange skeletal remains were also discovered. Humanoids with frail, small bodies and unusually large heads. Chinese officials later dismissed the findings, and the Dropa stones disappeared from public view. But over the decades, whispers about the discovery resurfaced. Some researchers claimed the discs contained inscriptions that spoke of beings from the stars who crash-landed in the region thousands of years ago. Whether the Dropa were an alien-human hybrid race, a forgotten offshoot of humanity, or an elaborate hoax is still debated, but the mystery remains. Who created the Dropa stones, and why did their existence vanish from official history? When archaeologists began excavating the ancient Sumerian site of Al-Ubaid in Iraq, they expected to find typical pottery and relics from early civilization. What they didn't expect were figurines, dating back over 7,000 years, of humanoid figures with distinctly reptilian features. These statues, often female, held infants or posed in social scenes, but their faces were unmistakably lizard-like, elongated skulls, slanted eyes, and scaly textures. Some even had helmets or shoulder pads. Mainstream historians argue they're simply symbolic, maybe mythological, but the level of detail is unnerving, and no known mythology from the Ubaid period includes lizard beings. Why would a people at the dawn of civilization create such strange, consistent depictions? Some fringe theorists suggest extraterrestrial contact or an ancient memory of hybrid beings. Others say it's all symbolic, but deep down, you have to wonder, were the Ubaid lizardmen simply gods carved in clay, or something else entirely? In 1986, a farmer in Sichuan province, China, accidentally unearthed one of the greatest archaeological enigmas of the 20th century, the Sancxingdui civilization. Massive pits filled with thousands of artifacts, many made of gold and bronze, emerged from the earth, depicting strange, elongated humanoid faces with bulging eyes and large ears. These artistic styles were completely unlike anything seen in ancient Chinese history. In fact, the civilization itself was previously unknown. Scholars were stunned. How could such an advanced and artistically unique culture exist, then vanish without a trace? Even today, their language, beliefs, and origins remain a mystery. Some theorists argue they weren't Han Chinese at all, but a separate, long-lost human species or outsider group that migrated, flourished, and disappeared. Who were the Sancxingdui mask makers? Their legacy is immortalized in bronze, but their identity remains unsolved. In the coastal desert of Peru, archaeologist Julio Tello uncovered something extraordinary in 1928, a massive burial site filled with skulls, unlike anything ever documented. These were the Paracas skulls, elongated, heavy, and structurally different from normal human skulls. While head binding was a common cultural practice in many ancient societies, some of these skulls showed cranial volume far beyond what could be achieved by reshaping alone. CT scans and DNA tests later revealed that many of the skulls contained genetic markers that didn't match any known indigenous population. Some researchers even suggested they represented a completely separate branch of humanity. Naturally, these claims were controversial and met with immediate pushback, but no one can deny the physical differences. Were the Paracas people a unique ancient species? Were they interbreeding with something or someone outside the known human lineage? Deep in the Italian Alps lies Val Camonica, a UNESCO World Heritage Site home to over 140,000 rock carvings. These petroglyphs date back as far as 10,000 years. And while many depict hunting, rituals, and daily life, some carvings are different, very different. A few figures appear to wear helmets, complete with antennae and suits, features uncannily similar to modern-day depictions of astronauts. Others hold strange tools, and a few seem to float or radiate energy. While most scholars interpret them as symbolic or stylized religious imagery, the precision and consistency of the spacesuit carvings have raised eyebrows. Could these figures represent ancient visitors, or even a technologically advanced race that coexisted with early man? Are we seeing the artistic imagination of early humans, or their recorded reality? In the vast, silent Sahara Desert lies Tassili Najer, a plateau in Algeria that holds thousands of ancient cave paintings dating back 12,000 years. Among them are standard depictions of animals, humans, and daily life. But then there are the other figures. Towering beings with bulbous heads, oversized eyes, and strange suits. Some are surrounded by patterns that resemble energy fields or auras. One particular figure, known as the Great Martian God, stands over 6 feet tall in art and looks almost exactly like a modern-day astronaut. How could Neolithic people in the middle of the Sahara paint something so strange and futuristic? While skeptics insist these are symbolic or shamanic depictions, others argue they're literal representations of something not entirely human. Were the Tassili artists just imaginative, or were they painting what they saw? In 1992, a Chinese villager drained a local pond, expecting to find rocks or soil, but instead discovered a vast underground chamber. That was just the beginning. Soon, 24 more massive hand-carved caves were discovered in the area of Longyu. Each cave had precision-cut walls, massive pillars, and symmetrical patterns etched into the stone. The total excavated volume rivals modern-day skyscrapers, yet no records of their construction exist. Not a single mention in Chinese history, not even local folklore. How did ancient people, without modern tools, manage such engineering marvels? The walls show no signs of soot or torch burns, yet there's no evidence of lighting tools. The deeper researchers dig, the stranger it gets. Who built these caves? Why are they completely unmentioned in all historical accounts? It's as if someone or something wanted them to remain hidden. High in the Himalayas, frozen beneath the ice of Rupkund Lake, lie the skeletal remains of over 300 people. Discovered in the 1940s, the remains were initially believed to be victims of a single catastrophe, but modern DNA testing told a different story. The skeletons belonged to multiple, unrelated groups, some from South Asia, others shockingly traced to the Mediterranean, dating back over 1,000 years. How did a group of Mediterranean travelers end up dead in a remote Himalayan lake with no clear path or purpose? Even stranger, many of the skulls show signs of blunt force trauma from above, as if they were pelted by something heavy and round. Could this have been a freak hailstorm, a lost ritual, or were they part of an ancient migration we know nothing about? To this day, their presence at Rupkund remains one of archaeology's coldest cases. Pumapunku, part of the Tiwanaku complex in Bolivia, has confounded archaeologists for decades. Here lie some of the most precisely cut stones in the ancient world. Massive blocks weighing up to 100 tons, cut with such accuracy that a razor blade can barely fit between them. Some stones even have complex interlocking shapes, like puzzle pieces made of solid andesite. What makes this site truly baffling is that it dates back to at least 500 AD, long before the Inca, and without any written records of construction. How did ancient people achieve such engineering precision without metal tools or the wheel? The blocks appear to have been transported from miles away and arranged with mathematical precision. Mainstream theories struggle to explain it, while alternative researchers propose lost technologies or even pre-human intervention. Whoever built Pumapunku, they had knowledge that seems far ahead of their time. From cave paintings to unexplainable skulls and buried engineering marvels, history is far more mysterious than we've been told. Are these just ancient myths and misinterpretations? Or are we looking at evidence of forgotten chapters in human evolution? The truth may be buried, but it's not silent. Which one of these ancient humans surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more mind-bending mysteries from the past.